Hi, everybody. It's me, Mr. Pete's again. We are going to be starting a brand new graphic design project that I want you to work on. I've already set you guys up to have your page set up be, um, it was 7 by 5 inches, all right, wide. Okay, and then what you're going to be doing is you're going to create a word like a word design, but you're only going to choose one of the following words: hope, love, kind, or heal. So you're going to choose one of those four. All right. And just as a demonstration, I'm going to choose the word hope. All right. And I'm just going to show you what you're going to be doing today with the word hope. So I'm going to insert word art. Okay. And I'm going to put an H. Now what I'm doing is I'm going into word art and I'm putting in each letter. O, I'll move that over. Insert again. P, and one more. E. Okay, so I have my I have all my letters here for my word. What I want to do is I'm going to show you how to manipulate these so that you can manipulate one letter at a time. Okay, that's the reason why we did one letter at a time for the word art. I don't want you to put in the entire word. All right, I want each letter to be its own thing that can be moved around. All right, so I'm going to move these over towards the middle. So I select all of them. I'll drag it more towards the middle, and then I'll make them larger. So I can kind of do something like this. All right, maybe a little bit smaller. I want them to take up about maybe 50 to 60% of the frame. So I want it to be nice and big so that when you print it, you could definitely see it. Um, but I don't want it to fill up everything because we're going to be doing the next lessons. We're going to be doing more stuff around this. Okay, so we're going to manipulate each letter. So what I mean by that is you can actually change the size of just one of the letters, and you can see that there's like this little antenna right here. If you do that, you get a little plus sign right next to it. You can actually tilt it. Okay, you did this with the letter art project. I'm going to do the same thing for the O, but this time maybe I'll make it a little bit smaller and I'll tilt it in a different direction. So you can kind of play around with this and see which way you want to take the letters and tilt them and stuff like that. And you could see that the letters get a little bit more playful when you are manipulating each one at a time. Maybe I'll go this way. And then the other thing too is I can move them around so that they're slightly overlapping them, or if they're just completely overlapping them. Um, you don't want to go too crazy with maneuvering it to different spots because you want to be able to read that word easily, right? Design is about being able to clearly understand things. You don't want it to be confusing. So if I put the O over here, then that wouldn't look like hope. So you want it to be some kind of consecutive order. All right, so I'm actually kind of liking the way it is right here. So I'm going to highlight all of them and I'm just going to kind of move it over and center it. All right, so now it's kind of in the center of the paper. Remember those red lines that pop up? See, now I got both of them, and now the word is actually perfectly centered in the middle of my frame. Okay, and you can do that too. Now the last thing we're going to do, which is really easy, is we're going to highlight all of them. And I want to get rid of the border. So it just leaves that color, but I'm not really a big fan of that color. So I'm going to choose maybe like an orangey color, something like that. All right. And then once I have that, I'm looking at this area right here. I'm not loving it. So I'm actually going to move the O over a little bit. Okay, that looks a lot better to me. Now that this becomes like one big solid shape, remember as designers, we start to see shape rather than just seeing letters for what they are. We're just seeing plain old shapes. All right, that's what we really want to go for. Um, and I could still read the word clearly, that's fine, but I'm also looking at the actual shapes and how they interact with each other, and that's really, really important too. I kind of want to do something like this. Nope, I don't like that. So again, you want to kind of play around with it and just take a look at it, kind of sit back a little and look at it and see what needs to be fixed and what doesn't need to be fixed. All right. Okay, and then after you do this, you get rid of the border, you change the color. Let's make a background. Okay, I know some of you guys have been asking me, how do I make a background? How do I do a background? Like I said, I have a Mac, so I just like use two fingers and tap the mouse pad, and it pops up right when my cursor's over the page. If you have a different type of laptop, like Windows, you can hold Control and click, and that will also make that pop up as well. All right, and if you're using a mouse, you just right click and the same thing happens. Okay, so there's three ways to do this. I roll over to background and I'm going to choose a solid color. I have orange letters, so I'm going to choose bluish background. Okay, and that's all I want you to do for today. So just to recap, one letter at a time so that you can manipulate each letter and then tilt them, change the color, get rid of the border, and then put a background. Okay, that's all I'm going to ask you to do for today, and then I'll have a different video and we'll continue with this project, and we will be done with this project by Friday. So you're going to want to make sure you keep up to speed with this. All right, if you guys have any questions at all, you know what to do. All right, bye-bye.